Purpose in the Youth. Purpose in the Youth. Purpose in the Youth podcast. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Purpose in the Youth podcast.
Don't give up until you find your thing.
Don't be afraid that you don't know what you want to do yet, because I didn't know what I wanted to do yet. I still don't know what I want to do yet.
I'm still trying to figure that out. If you don't have it figured out early, don't think you're never going to find it.
You really make your own opportunity.
What do you genuinely enjoy?
Everything is strategic. I mean, nothing ends up how you want it to end up.
You go around once, there's no dress rehearsal.
But you have to understand yourself to know what your passions are, and then it just comes really easily.
Keep looking for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Purpose in the Youth podcast with your favorite bearded man, the one, the only, Bobbbaaaay. Today on the show, you might know him as One Hispanic. Anthony, what's going on, bro?
What up, bro?
I'm a little nervous at saying your favorite bearded man when I'm sitting across from you with that diesel-ass beard, bro. I was a little nervous coming in hot with it when you're picking it out before the pod. I said, damn, am I still going to go with it? And I said, nah, there's no going back.
I almost cut you off, but I was like, you know what? This is your show. You could be the favorite one.
We're going to let him go.
I'll come in a close second.
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Just tired, touring. Staying alive.
You've been on a fast track since we met in Boston. That was August, right before I left to move out here. So we're talking 8-9 months ago, and you have been touring on the road, doing shows with Klee. Like, you guys have not stopped at all.
It's been a long year since I started with him back in March to now. It's crazy. It's only been a year to see the growth. It's been a long
fast
time
track
coming. Yeah.
Damn, man. That's amazing.
I love it.
I mean, that night when I saw him perform, I was like, this guy is not just an artist. He is just a performer. Everything about the performance was on point. But also just seeing from kind of his interactions with Twitter fans and his social media, he's a very upbeat, positive person, and you can hear it in the music too.
And a lot of it is because he's young, so he's always gonna stay connected with his fans.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that he knows they help him get to where he is. Yeah. He just wants to be connected with them because they're one of him. He's 20. His fans are in that same age range.
Yeah,
so.
Born in 98. I saw him on last night. I was like, damn, this is crazy. We're about to be in the 2000s soon.
Exactly.
Just people casually born in 01,
Exactly.
02.
People are going to say that. You're going to be like,
damn.
That's crazy.
90s, baby. 90s, baby.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, but he's awesome to work with. He's a great soul. And he, like you say, he's super talented. So
that's awesome.
It's definitely a blessing.
Who is Anthony today, and how young is he?
I am 24, and I am a photographer, videographer from New York. And actually, I'm just all around creative. I design some clothes, and I enjoy the music making aspect.
I think we're getting to a world where people are now just doing a bunch of stuff because they can do that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you can instead of putting all this time and attention into one thing, why not do a bunch of different things and just see what works, and what hits, what doesn't work.
And it's we don't really need a title anymore because at the end of the day, everyone's an entrepreneur, and you don't want to box yourself in and say, I'm only this or I'm only that, because a lot of things go hand in hand. I started off only photo, but video is they go hand in hand. And if you want to,
I feel like you have to now do both.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
If you want to get more jobs, you want to know at least the basics of both,
Oh, you only do photos?
Yeah, because there's going to be somebody else that does photo and video, and then you're going to be stuck. But because I'll tell you right now, I'm not the greatest videographer, but I know the basics of it, and I know how it works and how things are done.
Yeah, you can at least get the job done if need be, which is important. What part of New York did you grow up in?
In Queens.
In Queens, right? Yeah. So you were just connected to the hub of New York City.
Yeah.
How was that growing up, man?
I love it. Queens is very underrated. Okay. Because when you hear New York, you think Manhattan, obviously, and now Brooklyn a lot, but Queens is very underrated. We probably have the best food options in all of New York City. Yeah. And
what type of food? What's the big food out there?
I mean, it depends where you're at. There's a lot of Spanish people there, so Spanish food is fire.
You can't beat it.
Spanish is good out there. Actually, my favorite restaurant is a Chinese restaurant, but they've been in the Spanish neighborhood for over 25 years, so they make Spanish food. Okay. And they speak Spanish. Best restaurant in New York, hands down. But it's in Queens, and not a lot of people make it out there, unless you're going to well, now they have Forest Hills, Forest Hill, I forget what it's called, but it's a venue. Yeah. And they do a lot of shows there, but normally you're in New York or you're in Brooklyn.
Oh, man, that's incredible to be growing up with something like that.
But I would say I kind of grew up outside of Philly because that's where I went to high school. I went to a boarding school. Okay. And it was 30 minutes outside of Philly. And they say where you went to high school is where you grew up.
Yeah.
So like,
well, those are the most important years, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And like, those are the years that made me who I am now, for sure.
What was it about those years?
I mean, just like, that's where I picked up photography, and that's when I met like my best friends Moosh and Twist. And
so that's how you met those guys.
Yeah,
was it in high school?
Yeah, I was in the same like league as Twist, the Friends League, and I just reached out to him because I knew he would rap. Like, he rapped, and his school actually had a rap battle against another school, and I had mutual friends in both schools.
Were about that.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And like, it was lit because like a couple of us in my school knew the same people at both of those schools, so we would like genuinely tune in.
Okay.
Like, every time they put out a new battle, like, we would watch it. Like, and it was like the hottest thing ever. Like, I think they got in trouble for it, but like, I knew, so I saw him on that, and I reached out to him, and that's when I first started taking photos, and I was like, yo, like, I'm a photographer, like, I'd be down to, like, come down to Philly and shoot with you and Moosh, and, you know, one thing led to another, and
that's all it takes, just to reach out. All you got to do is just reach out, offer your service, give some value to people, and then all of a sudden, which I'm sure we're going to get into in a little bit of, then you end up touring with them and going around the country with them and really getting into it.
That's what I'm saying. That basically, like,
set it off.
Originally, when I was in school, I used to like school, and I thought I was going to be, like, an engineer or something.
Yeah.
And then I went to high school, and my mom told me to take photography, and I was like, eh. And my freshman year...
She told you to take photography.
My freshman year, the class was full, so I couldn't take it anyways.
Okay.
And then the next year, I took film, and it was cool. I liked how the photos would come out, and... you know, capturing expressions.
Why was she pushing you? Did she want you to do something artistic, or was she a photographer growing up?
I think she just likes... It's funny because she doesn't like being in pictures, but I think she just likes the process of taking pictures and capturing moments and places. So she probably wanted to just like have me do that and instill it in me.
Just see where it takes you.
Yeah, because I think she probably knew I was just a creative and like...
She pushed you.
Yeah.
Come on, Anthony.
And
we need you to try these things
originally,
out.
I was like, I don't know if I want to do that, but I did it, and now I'm here.
Yeah. That's why we're sitting down here today.
And that was like sophomore year of high school, so that was probably
so you owe it to the moms. Shout out to the moms for pushing you to actually do that.
For sure.
I had seen in your on your Twitter bio, it said, and you know, this is, I'm sure going to be something, you know, I don't want to glamorize or anything like that, but it said, rest in peace, grandma. Rest in peace, grandpa. How much of a role did they play in your childhood?
I mean, they basically raised me.
Yeah.
Like, I've always lived with, I mean, for the most part, I've always lived with both of them. It'll be both of them and my mom, and they were just huge influences. Like, my grandfather showed me how to, like, be a father figure. Like, they just raised me, and, you know, they were always there for me, whether I needed, you know, some money for camera stuff or for whatever it is. Like, they were always there for me.
What were like lessons they were teaching you as a kid that were important?
Just to always be like family strong, like be there for your family. Like, my grandma always wanted us all together. She would always want like reunions or like all of us to go out to eat. She was always about having the family together, which is sick because like that's really all you have at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah. If you got your family, man, that's something for me definitely truthful. Yeah. Like, that is the only reason I'm sitting here today. Like, I would not be the person I am today without just the love and care of.
And then obviously you get friends that become families. Yeah. So then, you know, growing up with that, I was able to, you know, welcome friends in as family, and it made it easier to build relationships with certain people, you know?
Yeah. Was your father just not a part of your life?
No, he was. He is for sure. And he is now, but it's just, I always lived with my mom. So we always lived with our grandparents.
Did you have
like,
any
I always lived with my grandparents.
So that's how they became like the role models.
Yeah.
Did you have any brothers or sisters?
I have a brother and 2 sisters, but I don't live with them. They live with their mom.
Okay. What's the age? Is there a big age gap or?
Not that much. My brother's 19.
Okay.
Yeah, he's about to be 19, and then my sisters are like, this looks bad, but I think they're like 10 or something.
Right,
they're big, and
I just like getting an idea.
It sucks because like I'm on the road so much, so I don't get to see them that often. Yeah. So when I do see them and they're like bigger, I'm like, damn, they're like all grown and saying certain things, and I'm like,
what happened?
So it's like, it's scary, and like it sucks that I'm not able to be around them as much. Like, I see them when I am at home, but like, it's just crazy to see how fast they grow, and I'm just stuck. Like, what the hell?
In that 8 months, you might not see them. You're gonna grow, but you're at the age now, 24. You're not changing too much. But if you're 11 and you're turning 12, that 8 months, it's a different person.
Yeah, and like they're learning things, and you know they have phones, and they're always texting me, and It's funny because my one sister she used to FaceTime me, but it would be her email address, and I had no idea who it was and would never pick it up. And then one day I was like, all right, let me pick it up.
Not picking this up.
And she was on the screen. I'm like, wow, I feel like an idiot. Like the whole time it's been you FaceTiming me. Like
I've been ducking you.
Because I don't pick up numbers I don't know.
I don't blame you.
I didn't know that email either.
Yeah.
I was like, what email is this?
Yeah,
like,
what the hell?
But yeah, it's crazy. Like,
What's your favorite childhood memory that you can recall?
I'd probably say the blackout in New York. I forget what year it was, but when we had the blackout, I remember I had just got out of school.
I think late 90s?
No, early 2000s.
Early 2000s?
Yeah, because I was like kind of older.
Okay.
And like I remember I was watching Arthur like right after school, and then like out of nowhere the sound cut off, and I'm like turning the volume up, and then the TV just cuts off. And then all the TVs in the house were cut off, and all the electricity cuts off. And then like I look outside the window, and people are outside. The street signs are off. Like it was crazy.
It's like a movie.
And it was it was for a while. Like I think the blackout lasted maybe like 2 days or something.
Damn.
And like my mom was working in Manhattan, and she told me how she had to walk across the bridge to get home, and
because everything was shut. Oh, the subways couldn't run.
Was shut down. Everything. Like, and even like when she said she said they closed up one of the streets so that they could walk.
Oh man,
it was crazy. And like there was a pizzeria by our house. It was like the only place that was open because it was like the brick oven.
Yeah.
So those were
the OGs.
Yeah.
See,
so
it paid to be the OG.
Everybody
with the
was
brick
there.
Oven.
Everybody was there getting pizza.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy, and it was like in the summer too, so it was hot. Like, but it was cool, like to experience things like that, and be able to talk about it. Like that was probably
history, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't just have New York City shut down like that, and if it does happen, even just today, that's gonna. I mean, that stops everything. Everybody stops in their tracks.
Like,
everything is electricity nowadays, so it's like, oh, can't operate this.
Yeah.
When we had the electricity go out with Drama's Pod, thankfully I'm running on a laptop and a GoPro, so I still had the power, but at the same time, it's like you lose that electricity, you're shutting down whatever that operation that you're doing.
Yeah.
Did you even go to college?
Yeah, I went to college for 2 years.
Community college?
No, I went to St. John's.
Okay. Where's that?
In Queens.
In Queens.
It was cool. It was very expensive, and I'd say a waste of money. Mainly because, like, at least in the creative field, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And, I mean, obviously in school, you'll meet somebody who could potentially be the next, CEO of a production company or whatever it is. But I learned more about my camera in the field. I learned more about, the whole photography and videography aspect in the field more than I did in school. Like in class, I was using old photos on my assignments. Yeah. And I would still, pass.
They'll let you pass with it.
And I was like, I'm not really learning nothing out of this. And after my sophomore year was when Moosh and Twist went on their the tour with, I think it was the tour with Hoodie Allen. Okay. And that's when the touring for me started. So I took off that year, went on tour with them, and then we just been busy since then. So honestly,
you never looked back after that.
Yeah.
I think and I think a lot. It's not even just photography, but I think a lot of things you have to just do it. I mean, I went through the 4 years of college, and they teach you all these things, but I still needed to go out and actually do things for myself.
Because then you found out a different passion, and look, now you're doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
It just sucks that you had to spend the money at college to learn that. But
but I don't regret it because I wouldn't be here today. I would not have been at this point. Whatever it cost me to go to college, I actually love that I'm an example of somebody that went to college for one thing and is doing the complete opposite. Because I want to show people that, look, I went to school to be a business person, to, put on the shirt and tie, and that was what I thought I wanted to do. And now I'm trying to be an entertainer. How does that even, you know what I mean? Like, I could have just said, oh, I want to go work in a doctor's office. I don't want to work in a business office, or I want to do this. No. I went right field and completely different. So it's like, wherever you end up in school, you just got to do it.
It's crazy because we really only have 1 year to live. One life to live.
Yeah, I got you.
And you don't know what you want unless you do trial and error. Yes. So you got to try certain things out. You tried the school, that wasn't what you wanted. You're trying this, and this is what you want.
You just.
And it's tough because time's ticking. You don't know. You want to find your passion. You know.
And sometimes I find myself where I question, oh man, what if I had started this in college? Would I be so much bigger? But one, spending any time dwelling on I should have, nothing's going to change. Two, there was a good situation of why I started the podcast, so it wouldn't have happened before. But then three, it's I figured this out at 22. Some people are 30 right now and are just kind of like waking up to, man, what am I doing? You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm just grateful that I figured it out, and I'm just focused on this moment and just keep chugging along.
And age is that's another crazy thing too, because like sometimes I think I'm old because I'm about to turn 25, and like somebody who's like 30 or 40 will probably look at me and be like, you've done so much, like, and you're still so young. And like, sometimes I have to just remind myself that like I am still kind of young, like, you know, 24, 25, like you're still trying to figure things out, and I have accomplished a lot, so I'm 100% grateful.
I think it's hard because you're in a circle of people and you're always around competitive. You're always around, which is great. It's great to be around creatives. It's great to be around these young people that are killing Khalid 20. All these other people you're around. So it's when you just see yourself within that environment, you think, damn, I'm old. Whatever I've been doing. But when you take yourself out and you think about, and you talk to people younger, that are looking at you from the outside looking in, they're like, yo, bro, you gotta just keep going. Like, you are 100%. Good. You are so good. So the early days of you and Moosh and Twist, you go on that tour. How does things roll out? You were the DJ on there too, and a photographer.
So that tour, the first tour I was just a photo and video guy for them.
Okay.
And then, I mean, obviously that was just the first tour. We did a couple tours after that, and then I eventually became their DJ. Just because like I always listened to like I always had like good songs that I listened to, and I knew all their songs, so that it was kind of fitting. So I did like 2 tours as their DJ. One was when we opened
on the ones and twos, baby.
It was cool because I get to play music that like I like, you know, and like that's like the best part of being a DJ, and especially if the crowd likes it as well, and then you start moving.
You're vibing off of
that's when you're like, oh, it's lit, you know, like
you are in full control of keeping people alive.
Exactly, and that's like a crazy power, like control. Like being a musician is hard. Like you really gotta like you have so much power over these fans that watch you, and like you always gotta like satisfy them too, and just give your all every time.
You gotta, I was gonna say you gotta step up to the plate and deliver, because if you don't deliver, they might not ever come back for a show, or they might say, "This is not the person that I thought I was actually enjoying to listen to." So it's like,
and then they spread the word to a friend or two, and then eventually you just lose it. And
you got it. You have to deliver. You have to make sure that performance is amazing. How do you think working with them has positively influenced you?
I mean, I'm nothing without them, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing what I do. Like, those guys, like I said, they're my brothers. Like, without them, I wouldn't do. They put me on my first tour. They showed me the ropes. Like, they've always been supportive of anything and everything. Like, they're always there for me if I need anything. Like, it's crazy. You know?
You wouldn't be here, right? Like,
at all. Because and I wouldn't be working with Khalid because the people I met were through them. Like, all the people I met in the entertainment business somehow stems back to them. So it's like.
And when you started working with them, they were already kind of moving, right? Like, it wasn't you were starting with them from the very.
That was probably like their second tour or maybe third tour that I got on, because I didn't do the other ones because of school, but because they had gone on a tour with Air, and then
man, you know, it's crazy. I remember, truthfully, I never was a huge listener of Moosh and Twist, but I saw their names everywhere, and it's like 2012, 2013. When Good Music All Day and all these blogs, they were everywhere, man. Like everywhere with Air. So anytime I was DMing Twist for a little bit. It's like, yo, I literally 5 years ago just would see this guy's name everywhere. Now I'm just even having just a brief combo with him. So it's crazy how the world connects and how dots.
It's insane.
You don't see how it's going to happen now, but then in 3 years or even 3 months, you're connecting with people you never thought.
So listen, the craziest thing is, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. So the openers on the Khalid tour is a band called Pretty Much, and one of the dudes, Edwin, we were just randomly talking in the green room, and he was talking about how he went to a boarding school. And Khalid was like, "Didn't you go to boarding school?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he asked me what school. It was the same school. We went to the same school. But that's not even the craziest part. So like in New York, there's a scholarship program that works with like minorities to like get into these schools. And he came from that program too that I was in. We were tripping.
Yo, that's
I was
crazy.
like, yo.
You guys weren't in there at the same time though, were you?
No, but he was class of 17. I was class of 11. So the year after I graduated was when he came coming in. So he knows some people, or he knows of some people that I knew, like that would be freshmen when I was there. But like, it was so trippy. Like he was like, yeah, I went to George School too, and I don't know who mentioned it, but they may have mentioned a program. I was like, don't even tell me. I already know what program you came from because I came from it too.
Yo, that's
we
crazy.
were tripping, like,
yo, that's crazy.
Like, it's one thing to go to the same school as somebody, that's whatever, but like we came from the same scholarship program, like. It was wild, yeah.
What's the story with how you connected with Khalid? Like, how did you draw the lucky number of being the photographer for him? Because you want to talk about timing.
Yeah.
It was a great time that you jumped on board with him.
You have no idea. Like,
oh, man.
His sound guy, I did a previous tour with him.
Okay.
And on his very, very first tour that Khalid did in the beginning of the year, which was the location tour, he played at SOBs, and his sound guy was like, yo, come through, take some pictures. I was like, well, yeah, I'm down. And I had just got back from Puerto Rico that same day too.
Okay. Oh, so you could have passed on this easily.
The craziest thing was I almost did. I almost said, I'm tired, like I'm not really trying to go, like, but then I was like, yo, like I should just go, like whatever, like. So I went, took a couple pictures, probably like 3 decent ones out of it. I hate shooting that venue. So it was probably like 3 decent pictures. I didn't think anything of it. He saw one of them, he reposted it, and his manager just reached out and was like, yo, like, you know, let's figure something out.
And that's all it
now
took.
I'm here, yeah.
So a moment of, I don't know if I want to do this to, I should probably do this, ends up paying off.
Yeah, like I said, anybody that I talked to about it, it's such a blessing. Like, the timing was insane. Like you say, he didn't have one, and it was like his very first tour when I saw him. It couldn't be any
right place
better.
at the right time. That's a real tight venue, SOBs. I've only been there for one show. It was John Bellion's first show ever.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible, but very tight, and for a photographer, lighting out.
The lighting sucks. It's just, that's why. So I took a couple pictures, and I really didn't think anything of it. Like, there was one that I kind of knew had potential, which is the one he posted, and I was like this one's cool, but like, I didn't think
anything's gonna. He's not gonna post.
But at the same time, like, his sound guy, me and him are really close. So, you know, maybe it could have happened on another. Because actually, before he went on that tour, he had posted that he was going on that tour, like the sound guy. And I reached out, I was like, yo, let me know if he needs a photographer. And he was like, oh, nah, the bus is full. Like, I think he's got somebody doing something or whatever the case may be. But who knows? Maybe it could have still happened because I had that relationship with him.
Yeah.
And, like, he can vouch for me from previous tours. So.
Yeah. So then you sent the pictures. They reached out, and they're like, yo, Khalid's about to be rolling out some stuff. Do you want to do this? And you just kind of hopped on board.
We reached out, and I stayed in contact with his manager, and he had a couple of, like, press stuff in New York that I would come to and shoot. Like, he had an album signing, and
so just a little events here
just
and
to,
there.
like, show my face and just show them the work and see if they wanted it, you know? And then, like, right before the Travis Scott tour went out, that's when we just, like,
so you went on that tour too?
Yeah. That was the first tour I did with Khalid.
What tour was that?
It was Travis's tour.
Travis's tour
album, yeah.
Wow.
The Birds in the Trap.
Oh man, that was crazy.
I'm a huge fan of Travis, so
huge.
Like, the tour was like, it was sick being able to see him every night, and like
his energy is unbelievable.
Like,
unbelievable. You think you're at like a death metal concert. He gets the crowd moving, they're mosh pitting.
He's like one of the only artists that I've been in a crowd for as like a fan, and like I've been in the pits and like the mosh and then jumping over stuff, getting into the front of the crowd. Like it's crazy, and he's such a dope performer.
Yeah.
Like, he's cool people. Like it was cool.
I saw him at the House of Blues where we met. He was there with Bryson Tiller as an opener. I forget what tour.
I saw him in Philly, and he had Bryson open. He had Skepta open.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. He booked 2 shows that night in Boston, and they had to shut the second one down because it got out of hand.
No, he's an awesome performer, full of energy. His music is fire.
Yeah.
So
you can't go
cool,
wrong.
Yeah.
Yo, I love Travis. I could spend a whole podcast just talking about Travis and his energy. Unbelievable. You guys just wrapped up the American Teen Tour. We're talking 27 U.S. cities, 13 in Europe, 4 in Australia, like world tour. Yeah. Unbelievable, incredible. Got to be at the Boston show, holding it down.
Yep.
What would you say you learned about people or cultures from traveling around to all these places?
Well, you obviously go into cities where people are just not cool, and so you're thrown off. But like, it's awesome being able to travel and just, like you said, indulging in different cultures, different foods. Like when we went to Khalid is an army kid.
Okay.
So he was in Germany.
He grew up all over the place.
Yeah. So he spent some time in Germany. So when we were there, he like was telling me about bratwurst and stuff like that I never had, and we would go eat like after shows, and it's good. And I would probably never had that.
He knew the places. He knew the spots.
And his friends, like he always has friends with him on tour. So he has some friends from that he knows from Germany that could vouch for it too. And we would have bratwurst in Germany. Like it was pretty cool.
Damn, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, getting to travel the U.S. is great, but when you start going to Europe, it's like. It's the same as like traveling from Boston, New York. You're just hopping over to a different state, except in Europe, you're traveling different countries, different
that's
languages.
So wild.
It blows my mind.
Different currencies,
unbelievable.
It's crazy.
It's a different. How is that even a thing?
That's so wild.
Oh man, I can't even imagine. That's like some place I've been trying to go is Europe and Australia at some point.
It's crazy because my first time I went to Europe was with Moosh and Twist, like probably 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And like in this past year, we've gone twice, and we're going in July again. So it's like when I went that first time, I was like, damn, who knows when the next time is that I'll go, and like literally been there twice.
That's unbelievable. Is that? I mean, you said it not too long ago on the podcast. You're grateful for everything, but like the fact that you're just like saying that, isn't it? Is it crazy sometimes to just hear yourself say like, yeah, I'm literally about to go to Europe and then we're going here?
Because that's what I'm
it's
saying.
Casual, you know what I mean?
That's what
it's
I'm
so
saying.
casual.
Like, the first time I went, I was just like, this is amazing. Even though we went in the winter, I was like, this is fire. Like, I would love to come back. Like, who knows when the next time is? And then like, fast forward, and we're going 3 times in like the span of a year. Like, it's fire. God. It's awesome.
That's unbelievable. What do you think? What's been the biggest sacrifice you've had to make since working with Khalid?
Probably just not being home that much, honestly, like because he's so busy and constantly doing shows. I think that's probably the biggest sacrifice, to be honest.
Is it hard? Like, how do you? I mean, because you're operating on his schedule.
Yeah,
it's not what does Anthony want to do this weekend. It's what am I doing, and then is there free time? So how do you balance like trying to stay connected with people, friends or family that matter the most, but still having to deliver and make sure that you're available?
I mean, my like friends and family that I'm close with, I talk to every day.
Yeah.
So it's I'm always around.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not around, and when I'm at home, I'm spend as much time as I can with them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just out on the road, and you're right. The only connection is texting or calling.
I mean, the FaceTime is a game changer.
Yeah.
I swear, I FaceTime my parents once a week at least, and just being able to see them, it feels like they had visited me in March, and even though I hadn't seen them in person for 6+ months, I felt like I had always been seeing them, because that face to face at least kind of allows you to see people and I guess see the changes. And
now that I know my sister's email, she FaceTimes me when I pick up.
Now you know when she's about to call you in.
Yeah.
What ways do you think you've become a better person since working with him?
He's super like he's really like one of us.
Yeah.
And so that like he's always connecting with his fans and interacting with them, and I've learned a lot from that. Just like, no matter what, you can always talk to people, no matter how big you are, because without them, you're not shit.
You ain't shit. You ain't shit.
So, I try to talk to as many people who reach out to me and hit me up for stuff and, stay connected with everyone, because at the end of the day, like, you should want to help other people,
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody says, hey, can you check out my photos and tell me what you think, I'll make some time and check it out.
Yeah.
Give them some tips or however
give
I can
feedback
help them.
on what you think. Yeah, because they're supporting you. It's like they don't have to support you.
For
and
sure.
if you say something back to them or you don't respond, they might say like, all right, this guy.
He's a dickhead. Yeah. And it's tough because people just know, they just go off what they see on the internet, but they don't realize like a lot of these people are like nice people, know, and like, it's hard when you're not in the world and you're not seeing it every day, you're not encountering it every day, and all you can base it off is the internet. It's hard. You don't know what people are really like. That's why this is cool, because people have conversations, and you get to know them more. So
yeah, you get to. Man, that's why I struck the golden ticket when I launched it, because I just realized like it gives people a platform to tell their story and really. Like people are just going to see, for you, just for example, like they're going to see your images, they're going to see your tweets, but they don't know who you are, the passionate, the family oriented, where he comes from. Like they don't understand what drives you. And I think people are more attracted to people when they hear like the actual genuine stories and of how they've gotten to where they are.
It's tough because our main platform is social media, like Instagram and Twitter, and it's not really the place where you're gonna sit there and talk about yourself. Like, at least I'm not. You know. I'm gonna go there to showcase my work. I rarely showcase myself. You know, like, so something like this is gonna be cool because I get to talk about myself more, and you know, maybe people are gonna get more connected with who I am or whoever you have on the podcast.
Like I said, man, it's a win-win doing any podcast, guys, because I know it provides value for everybody. It's helping me create my brand and capturing stories. It's allowing me to connect with dope people like you. But then it's also like this is I mean, obviously, if I bumped into you again at a show, I would ask you similar questions, like talk to me about this tour with Clee. Like, these are questions I already want to ask you. So it's like, why not record it, put it out there to the world, and whoever comes across it,
comes across it. Because there's a lot of other people that have the same questions too, probably, that want the answers, maybe don't know how to ask it, or maybe just don't want to ask it, you know?
I found that a lot of people, too, the podcast ends up becoming a place where people that ask maybe very similar questions, and they know the answers in the pod, they're just like, hey, check out this podcast. Like, here's the story. How did you link with Clee? Check this out. Check this out. So it hopefully will be something that serves as a way to get back to people and not have to, you know, say the same answers over and over and over and over again. If he was listening right now, if Khalid happened to be listening to this podcast right now, what would you want to say to him?
Thank you. Like, thank you for sure. Because it was crazy. Before I even got on the Khalid tour, like, I was pretty stagnant and like I was stuck. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like, you know, Moose and Twist, they hadn't been touring, so I wasn't really touring. I was just at home, like, not really being creative, and like I didn't really have much going for me, and I was like in a bad place because I was comparing myself to other photographers and you know, other creatives that were like getting certain looks that I wasn't getting. So I was really bummed, and like I had also I had hurt my knee, so I couldn't really do much. Like,
how'd you hurt it? Sport or something?
I was playing basketball and I got like a meniscus tear. So you can't
put any weight on that, right?
Yeah, for a bit I was out, and it happened right before I was going on tour with Moose and Twist, which was the last tour that we had done. And yeah, so like that tour finished, and you know, I was home, and like I was stuck. I wasn't being creative. I wasn't shooting nothing. I wasn't doing anything, and I was just recovering my knee, and it was hard. So the fact that all happened so fast, and like he gave me the opportunity to come out there and not only be a photographer, but like be his friend, like that changed my life forever. And I could never thank him enough. Like,
I mean, that's the thing. The other thing with social media is that it's easy to compare yourself to other people because you're sitting on your couch, you're hurt, you can't do anything, and you're seeing people that you follow, friends that are getting all these great looks, and you're thinking, wow, what am I doing wrong? So you end up comparing. I mean, great.
I'm telling you, like, I even had tweeted about it when it was happening, and like, I was really stuck. Like, there's no other way to put it. Like, I was just stuck. I didn't know if I wanted to just quit it or go back to school. I just didn't know what was going on. I didn't really have much going for me, and it was tough.
Things happen for the reason, man. Things happen for a reason, and it's all about just grabbing that opportunity and just running with it. And you know, maybe it was a good thing that you even questioned, should I go to this show at SOB's? Because now you just look back and go, all right, well, the next time that I even question an opportunity, I'm just going to pull the trigger on it and do it, because who knows what that's going to lead me to.
And I'm here now.
Yeah, I know. You know what I mean?
Super fucking grateful.
It's unbelievable.
I definitely needed it. Yeah. And it's crazy because, like, from working with him from the very first tour, like, to now, I've become a much better photographer. Like, my images are better, and he's so great to photograph because he's very, like...
He's camera friendly,
man. Very camera friendly. And, like, especially during his shows, like, he has a lot of emotions when he sings certain songs. Like, when he sings Angels, it's probably my favorite song to shoot because he's always got emotion behind it. And like, he's
that's like a photographer dream, right? Like, it's not the same. You're not just shooting the same person all show. You're capturing all these emotions, which goes hand in hand with the music.
He's an awesome character, and like I said, emotion. He loves to dance. He's funny. Like, it's great.
You got yourself a good one, man.
Great one. Like,
you got yourself a great one.
And I'm happy to say that I was there for his first show in New York. So it's not like I just came in out of nowhere. Like, I was there for the first show in New York. So.
Sky's the limit then. I mean, is there any like major plans going forward? I know you guys have a lot of touring coming up, but you just gonna keep working, kind of see where it takes you, and just keep with it?
We in July we do a bunch of festivals. But even before that, I want to definitely make a move out here to LA and just be around creatives.
You got it, bro. I know we were talking about this before the pod, but man, you're already in a good network that once you get here, you already have people. You already have established connections. A lot
of people that I know out here.
Man, it's just a different vibe out here, man. Yeah. It's a different world. If you can make it happen, I would say do it. And I'm sure everybody else is going to tell you to do the same.
I'm probably going to do it for sure.
Dude, please do it. You guys are in town for the Roxy tour, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you play Greek Theater back-to-back nights.
Yeah.
No big deal. Like we'll run it 2 nights in a row, boys.
Yeah. And he's got some surprises up his sleeves too.
I mean, that's the best part about living in major cities because people of all cities, LA, everybody's out here. So
exactly.
I can only imagine who he's pulling out. I'm going to call it now. He's pulling out Logic, but that's just it. That's a guess.
Actually, I don't know about that. He might though.
He might.
I haven't heard about that one yet.
All right, that's a random guess.
Nah, that could happen.
That could happen. What is it about growth that inspires you?
Just the ability to become better at anything you constantly do. Like I said, like my photography has gotten better. And, anybody, like your podcasts have gotten better the more you do it.
Yeah.
Like athletes get better the more they do it. Like I think the fact that there's so much room for growth, like it's crazy. Yeah. You can really become better at anything. You just got to keep at it.
My next question was going to be, what do you think the key is to that growth?
Yeah, you just got to keep going. Constantly doing it, learning from your mistakes. Like that, like a lot of up and coming photographers will DM me and say, yo, like, you have any tips? Like, how could I get better? And that's the only thing I could tell them. Just keep doing it. You got to learn yourself, learn your equipment, learn what you like. Just constantly do what you want to do, and you'll get better at it. There's really no other way to put it.
Yeah, I know. Where did this whole clothing line, because that's obviously, for people that are listening, like that is your brand right now, right? Yeah. Growth really inspires me. Where did that stem from? Because even when I was scrolling back on the Instagram just to kind of get an idea of how this whole world has shaped for you, there was posts from like 2015, I think, of you rocking shorts with the brand. So this isn't something that's brand new.
No.
Where is this coming from? Like what?
So it's funny because in high school, our friends, like it was a group of us. Some of our friends would call us like grimy, like messed up.
Oh, yeah, I know how that. Yeah, East Coast thing.
And so one day we were just randomly in the dorms chilling, and I was just like, we were just drawing stuff, and I came up with growth really inspires me, and we didn't think much of it. We just like, we just kept it amongst us. And a couple, like when I went on that tour with Moosh and Twist, I had got these long sleeves done, and they would wear it, and we would all wear it, and like a lot of the fans started liking it, and I was like, this is cool. But I never wanted it to become like a mainstream brand or anything. I just wanted it to be stuff that I like to wear.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want
you. It represented you.
And like it was also some ideas that like I would pitch to other brands, and I was just like, why don't I just do it myself? Like. And so I did that, and then I did a couple drops, and then I took a break. And then this year, we recently did a drop, which was the first one in a couple years. But it's just been like me and my best friend Kirk, we just been working on it and just trying to grow it and make it better. And
so it really just stemmed from you wanting to wear something that
I wanted to, like, just design something that I wanted to wear.
Yeah, and push you to continue to grow.
Yeah, and like fans started liking it, and they would ask me for like where the long sleeves at or where the bombers at. So I was like, all right, then I guess other people like it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think that's the best way to go into something is not having high expectations and not wanting the top. We're gonna make these clothes and we're gonna be the best brand. Nope, we're just gonna attack this normally, naturally, because we just want to see where it goes, and then all of a sudden that becomes the next big wave because it wasn't forced. Yeah. It was from a genuine inside of you.
It's so many clothing brands that I wouldn't even want to oversaturate the mainstream world. Like all the pieces are limited. I don't make too many anymore. Yeah. Like I just make enough so people who want to get it, and if you like it, you like it, and just support. Yeah,
that's smart. Is there anything you want to see happen before the end of 2018? Is there any goal in your mind that you're like, this needs to happen? It's kind of hard. I know you got a lot of touring. Yeah. You said the move out to LA.
It'll probably be the move to LA. Yeah. Probably the shift in like coming out to the West Coast.
What's holding you back from doing it, from moving?
Nothing's holding me back. I'm just not sure if I want to fully commit. Yeah. Because New York is awesome. But the good thing about it is I could always go back to New York because I have family there, and I can
do both. You can do both. I mean, with Airbnb, I mean, if you came out here for 2 months, especially with somebody like yourself who you're constantly traveling, I don't even think it would make sense.
That's also the main thing.
To
yeah,
lock yourself
I don't want to
in.
get us. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to pay rent somewhere if I'm spending half the year touring. That's really the main thing.
Yeah.
But I think I'll definitely make it happen.
Yeah.
Some way,
A
somehow.
little bi-coastal lifestyle, you know what I mean? Come out to LA for the summer, go back to New York for a couple months.
Basically.
Oh, winter's coming, back out to LA.
Out here.
You know,
yeah.
That's the true dream right there, bro. That is the true dream. What's been the best piece of advice you've ever received, and who was it from?
It's a good question. Probably just to never give up. Like, obviously I've heard it from a lot of people, my mom, Mooch and Twist, like, just never give up, because like you said, like, you never know what's gonna happen. Like, I'm here now because I didn't give up when I felt like I wanted to give up, and it's a blessing. So that's really like the main thing. Just keep at it, like, just be persistent, because that's so important, and just really never give up.
If you don't give up, I mean, it's so easy to say.
But it's like very easy to say.
It's so easy to roll off the tongue, but it is so hard to do, because I know
how easy it is to get discouraged. I'm telling you, I was sitting at home doing nothing but watching other people's feeds. And even like, I'll come across some like stuff that's not good, and I'm like, how did they get that? And I'm here like, I know how easy it is to get discouraged. So never giving up it's very hard, but just know, like, everything happens for a reason.
A lot. And you know what the thing is like, people will listen to this podcast, they'll see videos, they'll see clips or whatever, and people get, these little sparks of inspiration. It's like, okay, I need to go do that thing, and then you got to actually do it. Like, people see the artist like working in the studio, the picture, but they're not just sitting there. Like, they're not just like, all right, guys, let's take an IG pic, throw it on the gram, and call it a day, and just leave. No, like,
they're working.
Actually have to fall through with what you like are trying to do. So, you have to stay committed, and it's so easy. Like I said, it's just so easy to say, but there are so many times that I think people like yourself, like me, and other creatives and whoever passionate people, it's like, you just have to keep going. You just have to keep going.
And like, I'm witnessing it with Khalid. Like, that man is beyond busy. Like, beyond busy. He's always like, whether it's interviews or having to make music, and and he's still sticking with it. Like, because you got to keep going. Like, you can't stop. You could be gone tomorrow. People have they'll forget about you.
And the good thing is, I'm sure that energy just gets pushed onto you to keep pushing within your own lane.
Because if he's doing all of this, I could do a couple tasks. Like, he can do all of that. I could definitely do the other stuff, I can keep going. I don't gotta get lazy,
I know you said you're grateful for kind of everything that's happening, but is there one specific thing that you are the most grateful for? Like, whether it's family, whether it's just whatever it might be. Is there one thing?
It's definitely family, and just like the good friends that I have, like all my close friends, like, because they keep me going, But I'm also very grateful for the opportunity to be able to travel and do what I love. Like, there's a lot of people that would kill to be in my position, So I definitely don't take it for granted.
What's been a struggle you've had in the last 6 months to a year, and how have you overcome it?
I don't know if I've had one, honestly.
Okay.
I've just been in, like I said, where he's easy to work with. And it's always good energy, good vibes. So I think that, like, makes my life way easier.
Of course. You're just like, all
being
right.
around good vibe, like, even the team, everybody around him, like, it's just good energy. So it makes things a lot easier, you know?
There was one question I wanted to ask earlier. These are like kind of like the rapid fire questions. And I didn't. How did you get like One Hispanic? Where did that come from?
My
I feel
friend.
like I should have introed with that question, but now we're catching to it an hour in.
So obviously I'm Spanish. I'm Dominican, and a friend of mine used to just say like I was hella Spanish, just like mad Spanish, and I was like, I just said, all right, I'm just One Hispanic, and one day I changed my at name to that, and I don't know, it just stuck. I like it. Because obviously, I mean, I've been told multiple times, like, yo, you should just change it to your full name. And I'm like, I don't know if I want it to be my full name. Like, I like One Hispanic. People know me as One Hispanic. Like, they'll see me like, yo, One Hispanic. Like, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
and it separates. Right?
Yeah.
It separates, like, completely. Like, that's the business you, and then you're Anthony. Like, that's who you are.
And it's cool because it connects people. They feel like they know me because they know One Hispanic, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
I like One Hispanic.
Keep it, yo. If you like it, anybody that is hating on it or tells you to change it, Hit the road,
I'm
Jack.
definitely keeping it.
We're sticking with it. Is there anything in your day-to-day schedule that's a must? Like most definitely needs to happen. I know.
Listening
as somebody
to
like
music.
yourself, you're not able to get into routines like somebody like myself. I wake up usually the same time every day, go to the gym in the morning, then I do this, then I do that, because that's kind of the world I'm putting myself in with a studio and trying to bring people in. But somebody that's traveling a lot, is there anything that you do daily that is an absolute must?
I mean, I'm always listening to music.
Yeah.
Like that's every day. Like I listen to music. That's something that like you said, I mean, it is hard to have a routine.
Yeah.
That's something that'll be in it no matter what.
Yeah. You're going to find a way to intermix that.
100%.
Yeah. What's the first song you listen to in the morning today? Anything? Can you think of anything?
Lately, I've been trying to listen to "Lift Yourself Up," the new Kanye.
Oh wow, okay.
Because that song
that's a
is
hot topic
fire.
right
That song is fire, and
Okay.
it's good energy, and the hook is very good. You know, lift yourself up. And it's motivational, so I can get up and
And
attack
get
the
after the
day
day.
on the
Yeah.
right foot.
Yeah.
So I've been lately, since it came out, I've been trying to listen to that every morning.
Yeah.
Trying to get a good start on the day.
We could spend a whole podcast on just Kanye right now. I know that's
Facts.
a hot topic. That's a hot
Facts.
topic. We'll save
But I've
that.
been listening to that a lot. A lot of the Post Malone album is really good.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about that earlier. He's absolutely incredible, and he's 22, I think, too, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
he's 20.
He's killing it.
Yeah, man, it's just these young cats, man, are able to just fucking murder it so young.
Yeah.
It's like so inspiring to see that's even possible.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think One Hispanic's purpose is? Actually, no. What is Anthony's purpose? Because One Hispanic is we're not gonna go that. What is Anthony's purpose?
To just inspire. Like I really just like inspiring others, and I think with my growth as a photographer, I've been able to inspire. Because like I said, obviously my pictures have gotten better, and people probably who've been with me since Motion Twist days see that, and they'll say, your stuff's gotten better. Like that's really show people that you can all get better.
Yeah.
You can just inspire you to go out there, learn your camera, become a better shooter or whatever it is. Like I just want to inspire others to
actually do that thing.
Just become better.
If there's any, I always get this there's definitely been a lot of photographers, but if there's anybody listening that is a photographer, what is the quick just rundown of what you run? What do you use to
My
shoot?
gear?
Yeah.
I have a Sony A7S II for videos, and I have a Canon 5D Mark III for photos.
Okay.
Since I do both for Khalid.
That's dope.
Yeah. I kind of I'm starting to hate the dual cameras.
Yeah.
I want to make the jump and get like a 1DX or something.
And that's what for all around?
That'll be like the best all around.
Yeah, I don't know how some of you guys do it. I know I seen a picture of Jordan Wazzy. He had strapped on like one
that's
side or
what
the other.
I have the dual strap
bro,
with two
that's
cameras.
crazy.
And I got a fanny pack with my other lens in.
Yo.
Like it's crazy.
That's what works, man.
It's a hard feel. I was just talking about this with my friend too. How like my camera bag is heavy as fuck, and like we take it for granted as photographers, but like we should really be taking care of our bags. And like I'll show you the bag. It's heavy.
It's heavy.
Like, it's heavy
You
as
need to
shit
get like
with
a
all
roll
my
cart
gear.
or something.
Yeah, I was saying how I need to get a Pelican. Like it's heavy as fuck.
Put it on the budget, Clee. Throw this on the TV.
But then like if I were to get one camera, it'll probably be easier and less heavy. But
yeah, definitely.
It's heavy.
That's all in one, right? I mean, you could just shoot photos, you can do the video instead of having both in both hands.
Exactly.
Man, that's unbelievable. Yeah, like I said, I know there's a lot of photographers that listen to this, so I'm sure they're gonna like, yo, that's what I need. That's
and I get asked that a lot too.
Yeah. Well, there's the answer for them.
Yeah.
Before I get into the closing questions, this is my reverse role. I love my guests to ask me any one question. I know I briefed you earlier, and you already said you had a question. So let's see what you got.
I don't know if it's been asked, but if you could go back to high school, what would you do different, or what would you approach different?
Ooh.
Like, would you take sports a little more serious, or would you?
That's a good question, man. What would I do differently? I feel like I tried. What would I do differently? I tried sports.
Mm-hmm.
I played basketball up until my sophomore year, and then I stopped playing. What would I do differently? That's an extremely good question.
Yeah, because I know like I played baseball in high school, and like I always loved the baseball, so I'd probably go back and like take it a little bit more serious.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, what I tried the things that I wanted to do. Maybe it would be like to literally push myself to do something more extreme. You know what? It would be to push myself to have taken more creative classes.
Yeah.
I remember taking a video class, and that's really where I learned how to just like even just a little cut and edits, and I really loved it, but I didn't push myself to go more into it. And if I could go back, that's what I would have done differently. I would have went to the video 2, the video 3 class. I would have done maybe the graphic design class. I would have done the classes that I think I was interested in, but I didn't take because that's not what my homies are doing. I was more concerned with trying to get into the classes with my homies or my friends or who was the cool teacher instead of actually pushing my interest to do the stuff that I actually wanted to do. Because, you know, you said the sport thing, right? I recognized my sophomore year that I wasn't the greatest basketball player. It was more of just doing it because I loved the idea of committing to something, but I was never fully passionate with it. And I saw that, and I realized, okay, I just finished my sophomore year. This is now going to become more serious, like junior, senior year. Now you're in varsity. So I stopped playing, and I was starting to work. I was starting to make money, and I'm happy that I made that shift. And I was still part of the program because I was the team manager. So I was still with the homies and being part of that. But, you know, I was looking back on it, I'm happy that I recognized it, the situation. I didn't try to chase something that was not meant for me. But for sure, if I could go back, it would have just been take more creative classes, push myself to take the stuff that I was actually genuinely interested in, and not because the homies were taking other classes, which I think for a lot of people that ends up being the case. Or even in college, right, my professor was golden, like the best thing ever. I was like, oh, taking this class because of this.
Easy,
whatever they're teaching, I don't care. I just need to get through the class.
That's so crazy that there's a website for
Unbelievable.
That. It's so lit.
Unbelievable. And I know I'm not the only one. I know there are people that are only taking classes just to get by based on what rate my professor is.
100%.
Yeah, so that's a great question, though. Like, for a second, I was like, yo, this is something I don't know the answer to. But, yeah, it's just take the stuff that I'm actually interested in. Yeah. And it maybe would have helped me a little bit more, but I mean, that's the world I'm trying to get into now, is just really kind of create some stuff. But that's a good question. Closing questions. I want you to imagine there's a picture frame on the wall. 10 years from now, you're in it. What and who else do we see within that picture frame?
I think it's definitely going to be me and, like, my mom. And then maybe just, like, all the creators I've worked with behind us.
Yeah.
So, like, any artist that I've worked with or that's, you know, shifted my life in any type of way, just like behind me and my mom. Yeah. Probably something like that.
In New York or LA?
New York.
Yeah. Because that's the home, right? That's the
New
home.
York for sure.
You got the key to the city. This is my hometown,
for sure.
baby. Yeah. That's amazing, man. I'm sure it's going to happen. Keep the relationship strong. Make sure, you know, tell the moms you love her here and there, as I'm sure you already do, and just keep building. And the sky's the limit. You'll probably be taking it from a penthouse by that time, right? In 10 years, you never know.
That'd be lit.
You never.
That'd be lit.
That'd
New York
be super lit. That'd be. It's gonna be a little pricey, but we're gonna
10 years. That's a goal. We can do that.
We'll find a way. Where can people find you on social media if they don't already follow you?
One Hispanic on Instagram. One Hispanic on Twitter. What else? What else is there out there?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, you're gonna be see him at the Roxy. I mean, you guys still have some dates for the Roxy tour, right?
And then we have dates in July, and then we have a bunch of festivals out in the States. So
I'll catch them there. So it's either Twitter or it's Instagram to find you online, and then obviously you're gonna be with Khalid pretty much everywhere he goes for the next 6 months.
Or just follow him and
be like, that's where he's at. I'm gonna find Anthony.
I might be around there.
I'm gonna find him. Before I ask the final question, thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm super happy that that this happened, and you know, we met in Boston. Made the comment about like you knew about the podcast. I was like, yo, this would be dope to do a podcast with this dude someday. Kind of just have seen your work from afar, and just being a fan of Khalid, and then knowing you, because I see the pictures he posts. I'm like, oh, that's Anthony. That's Anthony. Yeah. It's like dope to see what you're doing, and it's super inspiring to me, and it's inspiring to other people that are going to listen to this, because you're an example of somebody that's actually make this happen. So just keep crushing it, dude. I mean, I don't need to say it. You already you're already inspired by who you're around, and you know, I'm just happy to connect with people like you. This is like,
I'm happy you had me too. This is definitely like my first interview, so it's cool because like I hope I get to answer everything that like, you know, supporters or fans ever asked me, so that they could just check it out and, your podcast is fire anyways.
Bro, I appreciate it, man. I want this to be the one. I want this to be the next like podcast that everyone wants to be part of, the creatives, the bit, just anybody with a passion. And
it's cool because of the people you have. Like I said before, I know most of them, you know, like the Mason, you know, Nezrin, Foley, Gibson, Wazzy. Like it's cool. That's why I like watch them, because I know them and I want to see how, you know, what they talk about. Or it's just cool to watch.
Yeah, man. That's words can't put into. I can't put it into words, man. How that shit like means to me, because it's knowing that like I'm able to provide a lot of value to other people, but then people like yourself who might have like an hour or two traveling of just to kill time, they can listen to it and hear what's going on with the other friend of theirs who they don't have the time to necessarily sit down and talk with.
Yeah, because I mean it's all creatives too that stay busy. I'm not gonna just text them and say, yo, like tell me about your life.
Yeah, of course. You got other things going on. They got other things going on.
Exactly. So it's cool to see them sit down, take a break from their life, and just talk about their life.
Yeah, that's dope, man. So thank you. Last question for you. What 2 to 3 pieces of advice would you give to somebody that's listening today, doesn't have a passion, doesn't have their purpose figured out? What's the 2 to 3 things you'd say they should do?
Definitely don't be afraid of trial and error. So try things that you may like, try things you may not like, because you never know, you may end up liking it. Yeah. And don't be afraid to like fail, because if you're afraid to fail, you'll never know what like success is going to be like. You got to fail. Like not everyone's going to be perfect on their first try, you know? Yeah. You can't be afraid to fail, because you're going to learn a lot from it and you're going to grow as a person, and just stay positive. Like we need more love in this world. Like
positivity, I think, is really what it is. I think that's the real key. Any negative situation, anything bad that happens in your life, find one thing that's positive from that event, and it changes your whole perspective on the day, your life, and all the relationships that you build.
We need to love more. We need to be there for people. We got to make sure everybody's good. Yeah. We only got one life.
Yeah. And people, we ain't just saying it, like, do it. Yeah. Once again, with the inspiration, right? You want to go build that thing. It's like, okay, you can watch this video and get a little bit of inspiration, but you got to go do it. It's the same thing with it. You know, stay positive and connect with good people and just keep good energy flowing, because that's the stuff that makes greatness. That's the stuff that really builds on people.
100%.
Yeah. One Hispanic, Anthony, baby. Thank you for coming in on the podcast.
Bro. Thanks for having
Absolute pleasure. Keep killing it, bro.
Thanks, bro.
We'll catch you guys next time. See ya.